What's up, geeks and everyone else? Welcome to Geek Mythology, a podcast brought to you by my good friend Sow.
I'm Sugi here, also known as Seth, who is called sugeypopplanet on YouTube. Yeah.
Hi, welcome to another episode. Not too long ago, it was May the 4th, which means that today is going to be Star Wars related. Yes. A Star Wars related episode. We seem to have these quite often because
it's
the only thing I know about.
Yeah.
What's up? Has there anything interesting going on in your life? In our totally interesting lives?
No. I've just been watching Avengers: Last Mightiest Heroes.
Yeah. Oh.
And I've been having issues with my Disney Plus, but oh well.
Issues, yes. I have issues too with my internet connection. It's a problem.
Yesterday, you couldn't even watch TikTok.
I couldn't even. It's so bad, my internet, that when I was trying to scroll on TikTok, scroll down to see the new talks out there, it won't even load properly. That is just how bad my internet is.
Yeah, no, for me on Disney Plus, it literally, on the live action things being Captain America, Captain Marvel, and WandaVision, it just shows a green screen while the sound's still working. So I feel like I tried to get into a live chat, but it took too long. So I think I'm just going to call them. I don't care about the charges. I'm just going to try and call them, maybe. And just
I'd
see
say
how that goes.
before you call them, try and reinstall Disney Plus on the TV.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to pay.
I'll also check on Netflix, you know.
Yeah. Anyway, back Salmian, your job before we move on.
My job?
Yes.
Oh, what's my job?
Your job is to remind me.
Is it you doing the funny? Do the funny.
Do the funny. Why don't they play poker in the jungle?
No idea. Honestly, I'm not bothered. Tell me.
Because there are too many cheaters.
I tried to think of the actual I don't know what the word is. Etymology. That's not the word.
Oh. I mean, this joke only really works for the British accent because we don't have a hard R sound. If it was American, it would be cheater.
Still, you can still hear it. You can still hear it.
It's It will work both ways. Cheater.
Okay, just for a brief tangent. I've said this so many times, but unless it's really Southern American accent where it's obvious, I feel just the standard American accent just feels monotone to me.
Really?
You know?
Whenever I try to do it, my voice, I just tend to speak a few pitches higher.
It might be because I'm used to listening to American voices they're all YouTubers, right?
Yeah.
So people like Preston Plays or Unspeakable, there's some American YouTubers I've seen, and they just sound normal to me. So unless you've got a deep American accent, you're just speaking English to me.
Yeah, that's why I kind of find it hard to replicate an American accent because
the English accent. We speak the English accent, so we don't hear it much either.
Yeah.
You know?
I can do Irish and Scottish to an extent.
I mean, I feel like I go scouse when I try to do Irish. I don't know why.
I can only do it if I'm listening to someone speak it, and then I can replicate.
I guess English accent. I mean, the London accent, really. Right?
Yeah.
The London accent being the most standard English British accent.
I guess the most famous one because it's the one that's in movies.
Yeah.
I rarely see a Yorkshire accent TV or movies.
Yeah. Because I feel like something I'm sorry about this, but the Irish accent I gathered from watching this one Jacksepticeye video. It's he has an Irish accent while he speaks understandably. But if you get a real Irish accent, it's where you struggle to understand it a bit more. If it's a thick Irish accent, because they're just speaking so fast that you don't know what they're saying.
Yeah.
And then Scottish I don't know what Scottish is, you know.
I'm not. I shouldn't replicate it. I'm gonna completely butcher
No,
it.
don't try it. Don't try it.
Today's episode is about Star Wars, but specifically the top 5 of Star Wars. It's a bit vague. The original suggestion, shout out to Jammy, was top 5 Clone Wars episodes, but we can extend that to top 5 like, movies and things
I feel like
as well.
the thing with like some things is when it's a show with some continuity between episodes, I feel like top 5 episodes is a bit hard.
It's a bit hard,
like,
yeah.
It might be top 5 arcs instead.
Yeah. I mean, we could start with that. Do you have a top 5? I've got my top 5.
I feel like for Clone Wars, I guess I could try and think about some things. You go first, and I'll see if I agree with what you say.
Yeah. Because the last time I saw Clone was like last year. I can't really expand upon and justify much because I really don't remember. So I'm only remembering like key experiences and key feelings rather than like the nitty-gritty plot points, and I don't remember those. Anyway, my top 5, in no particular order, I can't be asked to order them, consists of Season 5, Episode 16, The Lawless. This episode was where Darth Maul like killed Obi-Wan's like love interest, Satine. That was a really sad death. Like, we all saw it coming. I think.
That was.
But like, I just. Not really for Obi-Wan. I think Obi-Wan can deal with it, but it's so unfortunate for Satine, who like died.
The audience definitely. I feel like a lot of the audience would have been like, "Yo, what the hell?"
Also, wasn't this where Maul had like this epic fight with he had before he took the throne, he fought like what's his name, like Pre-Vizsla, like with the dark saber.
Did he fight Vizsla? Oh, you mean like the other guy? Yeah.
He fought like Vizsla to get the throne and to win. Was it to win the darksaber?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, because if you own the darksaber, if you win it by combat, you are the ruler of Mandalore. That's like a thing that they talked about in The Mandalorian as well.
And in Rebels, she gave it away.
So yeah, that episode was cool, and there was a really nice moment which I do remember actually. It was like Anakin making fun of Obi-Wan, because obviously Anakin like has his wife, has Padme, and he sort of like asked, like, I don't remember the exact dialogue, but he kind of joked like with Obi-Wan, because I think he found out like Obi-Wan must have like had a crush on Satine back in the day. That was a funny moment which I remember. The next episode is Season 5, Episode 20, The Wrong Jedi. The Wrong Jedi was the whole arc about Ahsoka getting like framed.
Yeah.
The Wrong Jedi was like the last episode where Ahsoka eventually left the Jedi Order.
There's that one scene where she walks away.
Yeah. Great scene. Also, it had a really epic lightsaber duel between Barriss Offee, Anakin Skywalker. They were like dual wielding, and then the temple guards came along.
Yeah, the temple guards.
And they were like, cease hostility. And then there was like the younglings like training in the background. That was a cool fight. I loved that. It's one of my favorite fights.
Why did Barriss ever change? Is it purely just for power?
I think she just didn't like the Jedi Order because
fair,
they started the war essentially, and like the Jedi Order were quite bad. That's why they fell. That's why it's because they had problems.
And I guess with the High Republic, we can see what they were like hundreds of years ago.
Like before
thousands, actually.
It was like
is Yoda alive?
Yeah, Yoda's alive. It's only set like 200 years before prequels. It's not that long ago, but it's back in the day when the Jedi were all good, basically.
There was no war.
Yeah. So great episode. The one about Ahsoka. Ahsoka's my favorite character as well. Season 3, episode 15 to 18. The whole bit about Mortis and like those godlike characters. Do you remember?
Sorry, what?
The Mortis episodes.
The Mortis episode.
You know that there was like the three like Force people, like the father, the son, he was dark, and and then like Ahsoka got possessed, I think, or something, and Anakin had like a vision that he turned to the dark side and stuff, and it was like
that was a really interesting
and it was like
arc.
Yeah. I can't talk more about it. Like seriously, I don't remember much.
Yeah, no, I do remember what happened.
And my 5th episode, which I really liked, was season 7, the last episode, the Order 66, but Ahsoka managed to escape. And also the one before that the one with Darth Maul and Ahsoka, that duel was really cool.
Yeah.
But like, I think emotionally, the last episode where Ahsoka escaped and like she saved Rex and
then
all the clones died. That was sad.
Then Anakin comes along as Vader and he just the helmet. And I don't know whether he's sad. I don't know whether he's like, at least I don't have to do this, you know.
But
or maybe
in
he's
Rebels,
just like,
right? He was really adamant in killing Ahsoka.
Maybe it's because like, Ahsoka's one of his last ties.
Yeah, he really wants to like distance himself from the Anakin.
Because like at that point, Obi-Wan, he doesn't really care much for Obi-Wan. You know, Obi-Wan's just like disappeared. He thinks his children are dead. Padme is dead, and then
it's just Ahsoka.
Ahsoka's the last one.
Yeah. And all the clones are dead, like Rex. Well, Rex isn't dead, but Rex is assumed dead, you can say.
Yeah.
I loved that episode. I loved how Ahsoka and Rex didn't try to kill the clones, whilst the other Jedi were like slashing their heads off when they escaped, like Yoda. But Ahsoka was like, if they're gonna die, they're going to die not by my saber, but they're gonna die for other reasons. It's just nice to. Ahsoka's just a nice character. She cares.
Yeah, she is.
She cares.
Like it was so bad for her at such a young age to like have that sort of situation. Was that the 4th or was that the 5th?
That was the 4th, but like because it consists of 2 episodes anyway. The one with Darth Maul before. Yeah,
I was going to say I think some people say the Krell arc.
Oh, I forgot. No, yeah. That needs to be there. The Pong Krell thing, amazing, super scary, like dark. Wow.
He's like the Umbridge of Star Wars.
Also, that planet they were fighting on, like the visuals were amazing. Like it really, it was really like dark.
You know, like Krell and Barriss, right?
Yeah,
they're sort of like the Umbridge of Star Wars because like they're not important. They're not very important. You know? They don't have massive effects other than maybe Umbridge on how he scarred him, right?
Yeah,
but like they're not like the main villains, but everybody hates them just as much.
Yeah, I don't really hate Barriss, to be honest. I know people do, but I don't. I hate Krell. Yeah, everyone hates Krell.
No. Yeah.
Why would you like Krell? If you like Krell, go to an asylum. Okay, sorry.
No, just get some help.
Yes. Wait, but can you help
he's
someone?
not even like a villain you can sympathize with.
Is it possible to help someone who likes Krell? That's
like other villains. Like, you know, Loki becomes good. He has a redemption arc in the MCU. Krell, no, kill him.
Another great episode. Another honorable mention was that whole bit about one of the clones, like Order 66, happening early, and he like killed a Jedi, and like there was this whole conspiracy that got covered up.
Fives.
Yeah,
Fives. No, that was really like. Yeah.
Oh no. Yeah, and anyway.
You know, there's another thing that like really made right. It was the you know how Echo dies.
Yeah. Oh, dies in speech marks.
Yeah, but then like in season 2, the second episode is called an Echo or something, and I was like, hang on a minute. I know that name.
I think that's enough of Clone Wars. Like, there's a bunch of cool episodes, but like as I said, we can't really.
Yeah, I was gonna say
about it.
Just to like think about it. I don't remember much from Rebels, but do you have any like favorite parts from Rebels? Like maybe just one, if you remember.
The Ahsoka, the battle in Malachor Temple with Ahsoka, Darth Maul, Vader. That one. The episode finale. And Yeah, I
The
can't remember
series
much.
finale was kind of.
The series finale. That's what I
Nobody
meant.
ever expects the hyperspace whales.
The element of
I think I
surprise.
can't remember much. So yeah, Kanan's sacrifice was a bit sad. It wasn't hugely.
I hated that.
I don't
Do you know
know.
why?
It was why.
Kanan and like Hera decided to like spend 2 minutes confessing their love and like all that. They could have ran away and escaped. The death was so unnecessary. If they just stopped like, you know, talking to each other and just get on with it, like they would have escaped.
Yeah, Kanan is honestly. I like him.
Yeah, yeah.
Ezra is a bit more of a. To be fair, he's the only
Oh, Ezra.
Jedi to.
He's a
Yeah,
bit
Ezra. The one thing I like about Ezra is his first lightsaber, the one with the
with a
blaster
gun.
built in.
Yeah,
Yeah, which I really want that. If there's any lightsaber, I'd want that.
I quite like Ezra. I mean, he's a bit annoying.
He's a bit like he's like the most annoying Padawan you could have. I feel.
Besides Anakin. Well, I mean, Anakin was yeah.
Okay, other than Anakin eventually becoming evil. Like anyway, what's next?
Top 5 Star Wars movies, I guess. My top 5: Empire Strikes Back, number 1. Number 2 is Revenge of the Sith because memes, and it's just great. And the memes. Force Awakens is in third. I do hold the sequel trilogy quite highly. Mainly because it looks good, and and the writing isn't like, I mean, as in the dialogue isn't cringe.
Yeah.
Rogue One in fourth. Great villain, great movie as well, great visuals as well, and it's like it's cool. The battles are cool. I won't spoil it for you because you haven't seen it. And fifth is Return of the Jedi. Great, I'd say as a finale movie to end the trilogy. It's great, like much better than Rise of Skywalker. Like Rise of Skywalker was a bit of a mess.
It was definitely. I think we may have said this, but like watching it in the cinemas, it was cool to watch. But then after you're like, that felt a bit rushed.
It was rushed. And then it was just all fan service as well. Like Return of the Jedi, I really liked it. I really liked the battle. The Ewoks were cute. Not really. They're not cute. They're savage.
I swear, I was watching that like during December, right? And I was like, so many more Ewoks should have died. Maybe they did die, but I feel like they shouldn't have survived so well.
There are different like superpowers you could have. We all know the element of surprise. This is another. The element of surprise is like one of the most OP superpowers you could have. Like, if you're going to be a bender, forget about the water element. You want the element of surprise.
Yeah, if you're going to be a ninja and Ninjago, you don't want the element of speed. You want the element of surprise.
Because, like, literally, you can pop out of nowhere and just destroy everything. Like,
hang on. Advisory warning. You may need to be trained in other forms of combat before using your element of surprise. Otherwise, you may be dead.
Yeah. But other than the element of surprise, the arguably most powerful OP like power or like armor is plot armor. Like, forget Beskar, forget like stormtrooper armor. What you want is plot armor.
It's funny because you know how when somebody has no armor, the stormtroopers always miss, right? Almost always miss, right?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, the Mandalorian has armor. They don't do anything because he has armor. Like I remember that one scene during like the second episode of, or it was it was the third episode of the second season of Mandalorian, right, where he's helping Bo-Katan and stuff, right?
And he runs into the line of fire.
And he runs through the hallway, and he gets shot like so many times because he has Beskar and nothing happens. Say it was like a Jedi, they might be reflecting it. Say it was just like a trooper like Clone Trooper, they'd all miss them, right? You know?
Like, if you have plot armor,
anything.
the laser bolts just magically like go away, right? But if you have like Beskar like armor, suddenly it's like a magnet for blaster bolts. It just attracts everything.
I was gonna say also just this random thing that I saw on TikTok. Somebody made like a skit. I don't know where it's originally from. They might have made it. But it's like the stormtrooper got shot, right? Right. And he's lying on the floor, and he's like, "Guys, help me!" And two stormtroopers are like looking over, and they're like, "Wait, you're alive? Hang on, he's alive. Hang on, I don't know what we do during this situation." I call over a friend, and they're like, "Hang on, this isn't possible. Isn't this armor like designed to kill us?" It's just like so like they're going like, "So do we help him?" Then the guy they called over was like, "Should we kill him?"
Yeah.
And it's just funny. That was just really funny to watch because it's like the stormtroopers don't know what to do when one of their own is just wounded.
Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, my top 5 to summarize: Empire Strikes Back, Revenge of the Sith. About Empire Strikes Back, though, it is a really good movie. Like it is just really good. Like the special effects for its time.
Really Empire Strikes Back is the
fifth movie, or the second in the original trilogy.
Yeah. Let me just quickly think about this for myself. I do agree, Empire Strikes Back is great. That last fight between Luke and Vader,
great fight.
If you see that the improvement from Obi-Wan, the improvement from like Obi-Wan and Vader in the first film, that just makes it even better if you watch it one after another, like I did. And then like Revenge of the Sith is definitely up. I'm gonna say Force Awakens is pretty good because I think that's the only Star Wars film I've watched twice. You know, I managed to watch it twice, and I was like, I like it.
Yeah,
you know, because it had me in.
Also, for me, it's the one that introduced me to Star Wars, so it's
The Last Jedi. I'm gonna say the reason I wouldn't like hold it highly. Sure, like the last bit was cool, right? The ending bit was cool, like the Ben and Luke. But it's just the fact that they sent Finn away on this like gambling. I didn't like that. That just felt
the whole
unnecessary.
casino thing with Rose. I mean, Rose was just.
It was so unnecessary.
If you're gonna make a successful Star Wars story, you want three characters. Like the prequels had Kenobi, Padme, and Anakin. You've got Han, Leia, Luke. With the sequel trilogy, you've got. The original 3 were Rey, Finn, and Poe, but they all decided to go off on their own individual adventures, and they brought in Rose, they brought in Zori,
This is Zori.
Zori is that exactly who's Zori? Zori's Poe's like love interest and like ex smuggler or something, and then there was that what's her name, Janna. The ex stormtrooper who rides space horses.
Oh, she was fine, I think, because it was somebody that Finn could relate to, and it was sort of like it sort of made sense at the end, right? Like they could protect them because they were on horses. I'm fine with her,
but like, you know, seriously,
like that one I can deal.
Keep the 3 main characters.
They didn't need to make Rose a love interest especially since they threw that away anyway.
Yeah. They really sidelined Finn, but then if they sidelined Rose as well. Like if they brought in Rose, you might as well use Rose. Like don't waste her.
Like literally, like the Rise of Skywalker was just. I think one scene I love is the fight between Rey and Kylo on the Death Star. That's fun. It looked amazing.
Oh, the Death Star. Yeah. That's a bit weird though. I don't really like.
The rest of the film is questionable. You know.
Yeah.
Like, why? Yeah, you don't need to bring him back. You could have done other stuff. Like
also, what was I gonna say? The final confrontation between Rey and Palpatine. How many times did Palpatine die to his own lightning? Like, Rey was simply reflecting his own lightning back. Like, if you're getting injured, then stop electrocuting yourself. Like, seriously. Palpatine, are you okay? Maybe the cloning, like, I don't know, removed lots of your brain cells. Maybe that explains it.
Let's write something. What would you have preferred if they did like maybe like made Snoke an actual character, maybe like made him like maybe he somehow survived and like mess with Kylo.
I think he should have. I think he should have like possessed Kylo, or maybe possessed Rey, and then it's a Rey versus Kylo fight or something like that.
Oh,
And then maybe like the
yeah,
Jedi spirits like help like purge away Palpatine's spirit from like Ben's body,
yeah,
and then Ben's saved. Like something like that.
Yeah, and I feel like again, Finn, they made him seem Force sensitive. They made him seem Force sensitive throughout the thing. I think
The Force
throughout the trilogy,
Awakens.
right?
Yeah.
Right, but then in the Rise of Skywalker, they just made him seem Force sensitive again. They didn't expand on it. Like there's this one time where he hears Rey in his mind.
Yeah, he could have had a cool like stormtrooper to Jedi story throughout the trilogy. Like maybe he could have gone with Rey in Episode 8 to train to become a Jedi with Luke or something like that, or something. I'm not gonna rewrite the trilogy, but
oh my god. Anyway, I mean,
moving on.
yeah, the Rise of Skywalker was I can't swear, but it was a something show. If you wanna, it was a mess. It was a mess.
You're really going
when
that
you think
far.
about it.
Wow. I didn't. It's not my best, but
Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong. It's not that good, but I'm not going. It's Star Wars for me. I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
that's what matters.
I still enjoyed it, right? But like compared to the other things they've made,
when I watched it, I really liked it, and that's all that matters for me. Like, I'm not gonna necessarily rewatch it, but for me, what really matters was the experience.
It was fun. Like, I mean, I choked on something when she made an orange lightsaber. So that's still always going to be funny, and I'm never going to let myself live it down.
You're always going to keep bringing it up. Like, should we move on to the last top 5 like thing we're going to talk about today?
Sure.
Which is like top 5 movies /shows /anime, just like top 5 like franchises almost. Do you want to begin?
That's so wide.
That's so for you, right? For you, because you've seen so much.
Let me get my spreadsheet up. Let me get the spreadsheet up. I feel.
I mean, mine's already listed because mine's short. So my top 5 movies and things. Number 1 is obviously Star Wars. That's the one I know most about and dedicate the most amount of time to. Number 2 is Harry Potter. Ever since I started reading the books earlier this year, I've really been getting into like the Harry Potter universe. And yeah, I really like Harry Potter. Number 3 is MCU. I'm not as into the MCU as like the rest, but I'm getting into it. I'm trying to watch everything. It's honestly like I don't really have the emotional like affiliation or like relatability. I don't really relate sometimes, because it's like very like over the top, very action packed. It's nice to watch, but with Harry Potter, I relate to the characters, because they're British school children at the end of the day. With Star Wars, I shouldn't justify it. You all know that I like Star Wars. Number 4 is Avatar: The Last Airbender. I really liked like the world building, and
that is very fair.
Yes, I really liked it. And number 5 is Stranger Things. Again, I don't usually talk about Stranger Things a lot, but I do really like the universe, the world, like 1980s America. I know lots of people like feel nostalgia for it if they grew up during that time. I didn't, but I still really like the old-fashioned, like retro, old and it's not that old. It's only like 40 years ago, but yeah, I do like the retro. Is that the adjective? Retro aspect of it.
I guess retro is probably
also,
the right word.
The main characters are like our age, so again, relatable. And they're nerds. They play D&D. I really want to play D&D.
Yeah.
If there's a D&D game, please invite me.
I feel so bad that I can't say much during this episode. Surely because I don't know what to say.
It's fine, Sal. Do you have a top 5?
I'd say purely they're what's the word? What is it? They are what the word is, Seth. Where it's like where they're like, it's you like it, but it's good because it's good. There's like it's objectively good. That's what I mean to
Okay.
say.
Yeah.
Like, so I'll put that up there, and I guess
Wait, you cut out when you said it. What's number? What is the position of?
this isn't positions. I just said this is probably like the sort of maybe the best of my favorite stuff
Wait,
that I've
what's your
seen.
best of the favorites of you've seen?
The first one I'm saying is the Avatar franchise,
Avatar.
right?
Okay.
Because
Yeah.
it's objectively good. Right?
Yeah.
And then I feel like Owl House and Dragon Prince right now are kind of tied, in my opinion, because they're both magical, but they've both got
Yeah.
relative building. Like Dragon Prince has good world building. Well, the animation in Owl House,
Yeah.
it's just so smooth and nice. Like the characters are so lovable and stuff. Right?
I quite like the animation of Dragon Prince as well in the late seasons.
It is interesting. That of course, season 1 was a bit jittery with its lags and frame rate issues. I'm going to say Ultimate Spider-Man. I just love it purely because it introduced me to so many like characters in the in Marvel.
Yeah.
So like that's sort of like my introduction to Marvel, really. And it's like the Marvel cartoon during like the 2012 to 2016 time period that stuck out to me as well.
Yeah.
So like that's 3. That's sort of like 4 actually. Ben 10 is just Ben 10's just Ben 10 in my Ben 10 was just really good. Like I know I have more things to say, but there's also a bunch of like other shows like Netflix shows like She-Ra and Voltron and 400.
It's really interesting to see how you tend to like shows more than me, but I haven't seen much. So, but like I prefer movie.
I also gravitate to a lot of like fantasy stuff. If you look at my like,
I'm more of a sci-fi guy, I guess. No, not really. I prefer magic.
Yeah.
Because
there's a lot of things that at this point in time, I like them because they were there when I was growing up. Like, even though I'm like only like 17, the nostalgia is still there for me. I still love them because they were just really cool when I was growing up. Like something I can mention is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It's just all like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It's great.
But yeah, also honorable mentions for me because like I prefer magic, to be honest. Like I'm a sci-fi person, I guess, but I think seeing as I like Harry Potter and Avatar, I do like the magic aspect or the superpower aspect.
Yeah.
So related to magic, I guess I really like Star vs. the Forces of Evil, especially the latter 2 seasons, the last 2.
Yeah.
Promised Neverland is great as well. See, the second season, I don't know much about it yet, and I haven't read the manga yet, so it's okay. But season 1, amazing, loved it.
Yeah, and it had you on the edge of your seat the like whole season.
Yeah, and another honorable mention is His Dark Materials. I should read the books more.
Not seen that yet. I haven't read it yet either, but it seems great.
It's a great series. Love it as well.
Do you know something with the Owl House? That I literally watched like a recap video yesterday. That it was like a video that Zach said got him into it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I realized like the Owl House is probably only going to have another season, like one more season.
One more. Oh, it's only going to be like a 2-season show then.
No, this isn't confirmed, but like season 2 is confirmed, right?
Right.
But I personally feel like that's all it's going to have. It's 2 seasons.
Okay.
That's just how I'm thinking, because of what happened at the end of season 1, right? And that's sort of just how it is. Yeah, I think the cartoons I mentioned are probably the ones I hold like closest to me.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I forgot to mention Gravity Falls is also objectively good. Just saying.
Yes.
It's like story and build it.
I think the only thing that prevents me from putting it in my top 5 is I watched it, I enjoyed it, but I didn't. The experience of watching it wasn't memorable because I was watching it over school and it was just there. Whilst with the other things, sort of got like a childhood
I think it's just about that
nostalgia almost, or like experience.
Like for me, like I watched it so quickly, right, that when I got to the last 3 episodes, I didn't want to finish it. I pushed off finishing it. You know?
Yeah.
I pushed off finishing it, but yeah. Guys, take this as recommendations for cartoons. Dragon Prince, Owl House. Go watch them. Do it. Especially if you like magic.
Anyway, moving on to the autocomplete part of the podcast. Today's letter is T. I have got on my search results.
Let me go see.
Top Star Wars dialogue scenes. I don't know why I searched this up. I was just looking for like fun moments.
This is interesting.
Like I have the high
this
ground.
Is once again related to. Do you have anything else interesting?
Top 5 Clone Wars episodes. Again, I was just researching for this episode. And the third one is Thrawn Treason. I was just searching up the book, which I just finished. I talk a lot about Thrawn in this episodes, but I did finish the Thrawn trilogy of canon books. I really recommend the Thrawn books. Yes. Anyway, what's your top 3?
Okay, so my first thing is from yesterday. During the Avengers cartoon I'm watching, Earth's Mightiest Heroes, there's this one villain I'd never heard of, so I went to search him up. He's called the Purple Man, right? And he's basically, he can control anybody within a certain vicinity of him. Right?
Okay.
I think it's because of like giving off some form of gas. The other interesting thing on here is actually the Bureau of Magical Things. That is a show that it's a Nickelodeon show. But back when it was like first starting in 2018, I got a lot of ads for it on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I got interested in it. But obviously, because it's a Nickelodeon show, I had no way of watching it.
Because you don't have Nickelodeon. I see.
But yesterday, I was browsing through Netflix to find like new anime to watch. And I found it on Netflix. So that's something I'm going to watch soon on Netflix. Actually.
What was that?
It's called the Bureau of Magical Things.
The Bureau of Magical Things.
And
yeah,
it's magic. So
magic.
Like, obviously, I'm interested.
Yeah,
it caught my eye with its advertisements in Instagram a few years ago. So yeah, that's basically what I have. But apparently, one of the top, results just from Google is Tottenham Hotspur.
I got that as well, Tottenham Hotspur. Like,
yeah,
I don't follow football. I don't really care about like teams.
One of the popular things.
But yeah. Anyway, to wrap up this episode, we've got a question of the day that we've been putting off for a long time because we've often been running over and like talking for too much.
Yeah.
But today's question, which we're finally going to answer, is what is our favorite viewing experience? It's a bit vague.
Our preferred viewing experience,
but
right?
Do we like watching on the TV, or do we like watching on a laptop or our phone or in bed? Or...
Yeah, it's definitely changed for me over time, right? Like, I think I've come to appreciate things where, like, if it's like the last few episodes, I'm going to try and watch it on the biggest screen I can.
Yeah.
Like, so like the 3 things I have is my phone, TV, and laptop. And I've stopped using my phone to watch things a lot. Do you know, like a few years ago, like maybe 2017, 2018, right?
Okay.
I would watch like a whole show on my phone because I can. Because it's just the easiest way to watch it, right?
Yeah.
And I remember doing that, like maybe like 12 episode cartoons and stuff. And even like if anybody knows the anime Sword Art Online, I'm pretty sure I watched most of it on my phone. But nowadays, because I've got access to like Netflix and Disney Plus stuff, right? So like, if it's something like Mandalorian and WandaVision, right?
Okay.
Or if it's a film, right?
Yeah.
I watch it on my TV, right? Because they're like some of the longer form like live action stuff. If it's a cartoon, right? Like Gravity Falls, Owl House, and Avengers right now,
Okay.
Those ones, I watch like the first episodes of each season maybe on the TV, right?
Okay.
I watch intermediate episodes on the laptop if I can't watch them on the TV. Like if I have time and there's nothing else I'm gonna watch, I'll watch like the cartoons on the TV, like with Avengers I did. But like the finales I will watch on the TV.
So you like the big screen experience. For me, it's more about convenience because I don't have a smart TV. So if I want to watch something on the TV, i.e. with family, I'd have to like plug in the laptop with a cable. It's just a few extra steps. So normally I just watch on my laptop for movies and things, or the TV sometimes. If it's like, if other people want to watch with me, it's on the TV. But usually I find myself watching stuff on my phone, mainly at night when the internet gets closed. as a deterrent. But what I do is I just download like for offline viewing, and I'll watch it on my phone.
YouTube and stuff. Like YouTube, I'm fine with watching it on my phone because it's convenient as well.
Yeah.
I guess for me it's changed. I've come to appreciate watching things on bigger screens,
Yeah.
as well.
About cinemas. What has been your best like cinema experience?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay then. I'm gonna just mention this one film because it's the first film I've watched in cinemas. It's probably like the second film I've watched the most, like rewatched the most, right?
Okay.
That being Ice Age 4, Continental Drift, right?
Yeah.
It was probably my first film I watched in cinemas. And afterwards, I just liked it so much. I've rewatched it maybe 4 times.
Oh, by the way,
I've rewatched it a lot.
Have you tried out like one of those cinema screens with like the moving chairs? I think there's one in like.
No, I haven't.
I think there's one of those like special screens at the cinema nearest to our school. It's got like I think it's called D-Box or something like that.
Oh right, yeah. No, I have not tried that.
I haven't either.
I think there are a few films that stick out to me actually. Like, what's your favorite film you've watched in cinemas?
I mean, in terms of viewing experience, I might say Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker.
That's fair.
The movie itself is meh, but like when I watched it, not on opening night, because it came out a night early in UK, but like on the Friday of the week it came out, so like the 20th of December, I think.
It was 19th we watched it, I think.
Yeah, that was like...
No, we watched it on the 19th.
We watched it on the 19th, but I watched it again on the 20th.
Oh, okay.
And my local cinema had like a recent like renovation, and it had this new screen, which was like bigger. It had like Dolby Atmos like sound system, so apparently it was meant to be like more immersive. So yeah, the sound was great, and the seats were like all reclining. So yeah, in terms of like a viewing experience, in terms of like the cinema experience, that fancy like it was called iSense. It was branded as iSense.
Yeah.
Basically, fancy speakers, fancy chairs, and also the family tickets were actually a really good price for what you got. It was like £10 per person, or like 11.
That's good.
And it came with like popcorn and stuff. Normally, like cinema popcorn is really expensive.
That's really good. Yeah,
but it was a family ticket, so in the terms and conditions, it's like a child is classified as 14 and under. Now, I'm not that age, but they don't care. Like, literally, if it looks like you're in a family with 2 adults and 2 kids, like they didn't ask for our ages. Like, they were like, "You're a family, you get a family ticket. That's fine. £10 a person."
Do you know what's funny? Do you know, like, if you had like maybe like facial hair or something, or like you looked at maybe like me or something, they'd go like, You're not 40. You're not 40. But I feel like for you can get away with it, honestly.
Also, like, but the thing is, this movie only works for like family movies. So Star Wars counts, but like if we wanted to watch, I don't know, like Deadpool. Then
we were in sync there.
Then no, the family ticket doesn't count because obviously like kids wouldn't be allowed to watch.
I thought of a few cool films that I watched in cinemas, right? That really like I just loved watching, and I can name a few. I think Detective Pikachu was just nice. I might have gone alone, but it was just really fun to watch.
Yeah,
I managed to watch it in cinemas, which I absolutely adore. Of course, I watched Avengers Endgame in cinemas as well.
And in terms of experience, you also had like not necessarily the cinema giving you the experience, but like the people watching and the vibe make like contributing to the experience.
I don't know if I've had anything really that much.
There's always a nice thing about going to the cinemas, like especially for big movies, is there's like this, especially if it's packed. which it was for me with Rise of Skywalker. There's like the atmosphere, which you don't get when you watch something at home. Like, that's one thing about like pre-pandemic viewing experiences. Going to the cinema.
I do want to like go to the cinema more with my friends like nowadays, because when I was younger, I think there were just random films I wanted to watch and stuff. Like I think I went to watch like Walking with Dinosaurs in 3D. Like the Lorax I watched in cinemas as well.
Oh, the Lorax was my first 3D movie. I do remember that.
Yeah, it was just the fact that I'd go with my dad. My dad would fall asleep, and I'd just be watching, right?
Yeah.
But like now, I like Spider-Man: Far From Home. We went with like a lot of friends,
and we sat on the fancy sofa chairs.
Yeah. It was, Frozen 2. I watched that in cinemas.
I didn't watch it in cinemas.
That was actually really amazing, because I went with my friends, and immediately after, I was just filled with adrenaline going to the concert.
Oh, you watched it before the concert as well, right? That was
Yeah. No, I think I've just seen I saw so many films like in 2019 that it's just because I watched Endgame in 2019, right?
Yeah.
I watched Detective Pikachu. I watched Spider-Man: Far From Home, and I watched Frozen 2, and I watched Rise of Skywalker that year.
That's a busy year for cinema.
Oh wait, no, Endgame was 2018, wasn't it?
No, 19.
19, yeah. So I watched like 5 huge films that year.
Yeah.
They were all amazing. Actually, do you know, last year I watched like this anime film as well called My Hero Academia Heroes Rising, and that was just really cool because it was like a really cool anime, and like its soundtracks are amazing, and it was just like so fun.
Another viewing experience I quickly want to wrap up in are like theatre, like viewing experiences, and I haven't seen much. I've only seen like 2 like productions. One was at the school. I remember like a lot of. That was okay in terms of seat and like viewing experience. Oh, I've seen Blood Brothers for like GCSE English.
You got to see that, didn't you?
That viewing experience was a bit weird and like not very nice, because first of all, I couldn't go home to get changed and stuff, and because I had choir that day, so I was lugging around all my school books and my uniform. So first of all, that wasn't a great start. Second of all, like the seat we were in was really like cramped, much leg room. Every time there was like a change of scene or a blackout or like a break, I'd have to stand up and just stretch a bit. And also like the person I went with like had their violin from the violin lesson, and they couldn't leave it at home because they also had choir. So finding a place to put our bags in a space that's already quite cramped was hard. Yeah. And then another time I went to the theatre was like 2019. Went with my family, watched Matilda in London. Again, that was better, but it was far away because the cheap seats that are like 20 quid each, still expensive, but like
I'm gonna say this now, right?
Yeah, sure.
Unless you get like the seats at the top, like the sofa and the recliners. So if you got the normal seats, get like middle of the elevation, right? So maybe like D. And
you want
middle of that row. You want the middle of the whole theatre, right?
Yeah.
The middle of the whole cinema, right? Right down center.
In terms of like in the theatre, like the most expensive ones are near the stage in the middle. But because we couldn't afford those necessarily, we were content with the ones at the back, really high up, really far away. But back to cinemas, seeing as you were going on about it. Middle of the row, and middle in the basically be in the middle, right in the middle.
Middle, yeah. So like say like there's like I don't know A to F.
It really depends.
A to like just A to H or something.
Just find a seat in the middle.
You want D middle. Yeah. Like you don't want to be too close. You don't want to be too far. But like the center of the whole cinema.
Also, in terms of like the ice in Odeon Ice Sense, the one where I went to watch the Rise of Skywalker. Also, this is in general. When they do like sound mixing, the sound engineer would sit right in the middle. So if you want the best sound experience from all the speakers, the middle is where it's best. But what's really weird is My
Go with
dad.
friends.
Go with friends. My dad likes to sit right at the back for some reason, so we tend to sit at the back. But yeah, personally, and what we recommend is middle. Middle.
Yeah.
Middle.
And go with like friends or like people who appreciate what you're watching as well.
Because then you could
Because
have the
that would-
awesome geek moments where you point out like references, like he said the thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, that is it for today's episode. Hopefully you enjoyed. The question for you, which you can tell us in the Discord or in the comments below, join the Discord by the way, is what is your favourite viewing experience, and do you have any like standout cinema moments, for example?
Yeah. I guess another question is, are there any films you are excited that are coming out in the next
Also,
few years?
what's your top 5
Taking
Star Wars movies?
This is all homework. You'll be tested out.
Anyway, thanks for listening. We upload every 2 weeks on Friday at most podcast hosting sites such as Spotify, Apple, etc. Make sure you subscribe and
And if you're
follow.
on YouTube, subscribe.
Yep, sorry. And we'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.
Shiny.
What does that mean?
It's goodbye in Japanese, I think.
Oh, I don't speak Japanese.